Boy, you guys paid $50 for to watch Jake Paul try to get his ass kicked, and Jake Paul embarrassed Ben Askren in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Yeah, it was an early stoppage. Yes, it was an early stoppage in my opinion, but Jake Paul cracked him. Jake Paul rocked him, and it wouldn't even matter anyway. The result would have been the same. Jake Paul was going to win that fight regardless. Ben Askren doesn't have a stand-up game. This is what I kept trying to tell people on Twitter. I kept trying to tell people about this. No, everyone kept saying no. He's an MMA fighter. He's a collegiate great. He's 19-2 in MMA. He is going to whip. We're finally going to see Jake Paul get his ass kicked. Listen. MMA guys really don't make good transitions over to boxing. They don't make good transitions over to the boxing world. It's easier for a boxer to transition to MMA than an MMA fighter transitioning to boxing. There's a reason why you don't really hear a lot of MMA fighters. You don't really hear a lot of MMA fighters become boxing world champions. You've heard some boxing world champions become world championship fighters. I give you a perfect example: Holly Holm. She was a boxing great as a fighter, as a woman. She transitioned to MMA. She was, of course, she had a kickboxing background as well, but she also won a world championship, right? I think the only person that you can sit up here and say that transitioned well was Dylan White. Dylan White was probably the only person that I can think of, at least right now. Frank Mir got his ass kicked today. Frank Mir got the shit kicked out of him today. Look at Conor McGregor against Floyd. Listen, it's not an easy transition. So stop betting on these MMA fighters that are transitioning over to boxing. Listen, if you want to bet against Jake Paul, listen, I get it. You want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. If you want to see Jake Paul get knocked out that damn badly, then listen, wait until Jake Paul actually fights an actual professional boxer, not a KSI fighter, not one of these other scrubby YouTubers, not a retired MMA fighter that doesn't even have a stand-up game, that never actually developed a stand-up game. There's a reason why Ben Askren got knocked out in literally 3 seconds by Jorge Masvidal, because Jorge Masvidal knew that Ben Askren was going to shoot right away because Ben Askren doesn't have a stand-up game. You go watch Ben Askren's highlights, he rarely throws punches. So I don't understand why people, if he rarely threw punches in MMA, how in the hell do you expect this guy to really throw punches in boxing? His stand-up game was weird right off the gate. He looked overweight as hell, and he didn't look like he didn't even want to be there. Do I like Jake Paul? I mean, I don't really know Jake Paul. Do I find him a little bit of annoying? Yes, I find him a little bit of annoying. But I'm smart enough to go with the better boxer. And Jake Paul is a guy that's been doing boxing for 2-3 years now? He's actually been training every single day for around 2 years now for this. Ben Askren's a guy that just got off the couch. Come on, people. $50 was not worth it. You guys know it. I know it. But come on, man. If you really want to watch Jake Paul get knocked out, wait until he actually fights an actual fighter, or at least if he's going to fight an MMA guy, or MMA guy, or someone in the MMA circuit, at least be a person that's a kickboxer, that was a kickboxer or Muay Thai fighter or something, or a karate fighter, not someone in Ben Askren who doesn't even have a stand-up game.